Welcome back to another episode of DMI Live. I'm Baron Capers here representing Digital Media Institute here in Shreveport. I'm actually in DMI's Flex Lab right now. You can see behind me. And today's guest is Max William McKee. Hello, Max. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. I'm glad to have you here. Max is a graduate of Digital Media Institute. He's working in the architecture field right now, and he has worked at Swaybox and also did some movies here locally in Shreveport. Max, tell me about yourself.
So I come from an architecture background, um, but I decided to get into more of the film, and I really like doing 3D modeling. That's kind of my passion. Um, but I went through the Digital Media Institute program, the ADI program, because there wasn't any avenue for that up where I'm from in Fayetteville. So yeah, I went through the program and learned a lot about visual effects and more about 3D modeling and rendering. And yeah, I had a great time. Now I'm continuing that stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Awesome. Great. Max is going to be here with me today, guys, and we're going to work on building a 3D block structure using primitive shapes. I'll be using the program 3ds Max, and Max may be using that or either Maya. Both are suites in the Autodesk package that you could find online. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. And open up 3ds Max for you guys. Awesome. Can you see what I have up here, Max?
Yes.
All right, that's great. Hope you guys at home can see and follow along. Um, on our page, you can download the projects themselves and follow along that way, or you can just sit back and watch and relax while we build something and talk about some digital stuff. So on my screen right now, what you're seeing is 3ds Max. This is a student version. You can get that by having a student email address. You get it for free for 3 years and then have to upgrade back to a student version, or you're able to purchase it right out. Other 3D building software that is free is Blender and Maya. So you can get those things for free if you want. Like I said, what you're seeing here is a quad view window, which you have 4 views of front, top, left, and perspective. We'll be working in the perspective window. And to get that, you want to hit your maximize viewpoint toggle button if you're working in 3ds Max. And it's right here at the bottom. Awesome. Before you, we have a grid, and beyond the grid is infinite space.
Enough?
Awesome.
Okay. I'll see you when you get back.
Okay. This.
Okay.
The way you move your mouse, or if the way you move your camera, can be done one of 2 ways. You can hold down Alt and the middle mouse button and grab and rotate, or you can use the directional box up here and rotate it around. Use the middle mouse button to scroll in and scroll out. So let's begin to build something. I'll start first with the plane. I click and drag, and I've made a plane. I right click if I want to move, rotate, or scale. And let's try these things right now. So to move, we move on the X, Y, and Z axes. Moving up and down, just like that. Or this way. That. Or the Y axis. Moving back and forth. Awesome. So I'm gonna have my plane to represent grass, and I'm gonna paint it green. To paint it, you can use the color box right over here. And you can add custom colors, or you can pick from the colors that they already have. I'm gonna use a custom color of a kind of a dark green. Let's give it a little bit of life. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a happy green. Bob Ross would say that's a happy green. Hit OK, and now we have a green. Cool. So now that we have our base, we're gonna actually start building our walls next. So we can build that with a box. We have to highlight box, and we just click and drag. Click and drag. Awesome. And now we have a wall. Simple as that. Now, Max, is this simpler? Is this similar to doing architecture?
Um, it's a little bit. In architecture, you're a lot more interested in getting you got to set up your grids and make sure everything's in scale. It's all about scale in architecture. So you're trying to make it, because obviously it has to be built in real life. So um, you want to have it as accurate as possible. With these softwares, it kind of like you can get that accurate, but it's more about the way it looks.
That's right. So in gaming or like in movies, we do it for aesthetics. And so in architecture, it has to be for real. It has to look good and then it has to function, right? Cool. So now that we have a box, we can duplicate this box by holding shift and we can click and move. And a window will pop up and we can make a copy, instance, or a reference. And we can make several copies if we want to, maybe 9 or 6, who knows, but we only need one for right now. So we'll just make one. We'll use the Z axis and move it right on top of our box. Wow. Now we can shrink this box down by going to our modify tab. And we can use the parameters buttons here and shrink our stuff down. Awesome. Nice. Let's move this to the side. Just here. We can raise it just here. Now, let's duplicate this again by holding down Shift and clicking and moving. And we'll make one more. Let's move this right here. Awesome. Cool. That looks like a little castle wall to me. What do you think, Max? How does this look to you?
Well, I can't really just all I can see is the plane, and
Can you see the?
no, it looks like the video isn't catching up with the.
Okay, I may be moving too fast. I'll try to continue to build, and we'll see what happens right quick. So, what I'm going to do now is group all of this stuff together, and I can do that by going to Group, which is up here, my windows, and I can hit Group. I can name it. I'll name it Wall. Now this is grouped together. Nice. If we can take this wall, we can rotate it. And we can scale it up or down. Nice. Now, let's build some center sections so we can have our wall put together. First, I'm going to get let's get a column. Let's see how this looks. Let's get a cylinder. Do it that way. Or we can get another box and place one right here. Have it come up. And there we go. We'll put that to the side. Awesome. Now we can take a cone. Place it on top. Excuse me, 1 minute. Okay, so I'll stop my screen share and I'm gonna restart it right quick, guys, and let's see what happens.
There we go.
Awesome. So did that fix the problem?
Yeah,
okay. All right, cool. I may be going a little bit too fast. Thank you for notifying me about the screen share. So if you guys weren't here for the last part of that, what I did was make a wall and I duplicated the blocks on top and just grouped the whole thing together. I can show you by going to ungroup, which is right up here. Can you still see Max?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So ungrouped and compress group and group together. What I did was make a wall and I duplicated the it seems like I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah, it sounds like John's mic is a little hot.
All right, cool. So once again, we're gonna just duplicate some things right quick. And I'll do that by holding down Shift, click and move. And I can move on the X, Y, and Z axis. And then we can go back into our modifiers tab and we can modify with the parameters. Down this way, down, and over here too. Excuse me. Still moving along the X, Y, and Z axis, you're able to either move along all three in space, or you can grab two or just one, and it'll highlight which one you have, or both, or all three. You have all of them. So let's duplicate again by click and shift. And then we can select both and duplicate one more time. Awesome. Nice. There we go. So we'll keep this a square base design, and we'll have a round base design on this side. And then we'll have the middle connecting both together. We'll duplicate again. And there we go. So let's go back to our standard primitives tab, and we will select a pyramid. Let's build that pyramid. This is how they built the pyramids back in the day. Very simple, very easy. Just like that. And they were able to place those pyramids in those blocks using the XYZ axis on top of anything. And there we go. Look at that. Very simple, very easy, very much fun. Okay, now that we have this, we can grab the entire section and just duplicate it again. And there we go. Very nice. How are we doing over there, Max?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Getting the walls done.
Are you able to share your screen at this time?
Not quite yet.
Okay, just take your time. So we'll go back to plane, and I'm going to take the width, the length, and move over. There we go. To cover our stuff. Nice. So let's put another wall in the back, and we'll end and begin with a wall. Move this right over. There we go. Nice. So we need something here to connect a corner to a wall piece. And we can go with something round. And we'll just highlight and shift. If things don't work out the way we want them to, we can always hit Cancel or Control Z. And when you're doing something that's a structure, you want to make sure you're on the same level or the same access point. And so we'll shift and we'll just highlight the Y axis and move that. Press OK. And just continue to move. So as long as we have that one selected, we can move along that axis and not have to worry about anything going awry. Nice. Let's move this over just a hair. Cool. Okay, so we have that, but this is a corner piece, so it's gonna have to be a little bit more special than just like a regular turret or whatnot. So we'll put a little bit more design in this one. So we can go back to our standard primitive shapes, and we can get another cylinder and just put it right on the bottom. Stick it out there. Just move it right in the center of that one. And of course, we can take these and we can make them bigger by hitting and right-clicking and pressing the scale button and blowing it up just a hair. Then we can take it and scale it on those axes too. Scale down. Come on down. There we go. See? Let me zoom out. Scale up and scale down. And scale way up, all the way down, and go all the way through. Nice. And we can scale this up too. So I don't know if you guys were here earlier, but Max had a visitor, and it was a peacock. It was a male peacock, had all the feathers and everything, and it came to visit him in his window. It's interesting that the females do not have the feathers that the males do. Awesome. Sure. That'll be great. So here we are, and we are going to now turn this wall and make another copy for the other side. So I highlight all of them, shift and click, and just move to the other side, and there we go. Cool. Awesome. So now that we have both of our sides, we're going to go ahead and build a front and a back right quick. All right. Max, you got any questions or comments?
No, it's looking good. Got the towers and the walls.
Oh. Cool. Let's scale this up a little bit more. Awesome. So it's making it very easy on us. Remember, guys, we can always duplicate something no matter what angle it is. So we can click, shift, look at that. Now, if you noticed when I did that, it just gave it to me free. And these numbers are going crazy up here. But if I need something that is exact, I can always hit my snaps toggle or my angles toggle snaps. And it gives me degrees of 5, 3, 4. And I want a 90-degree wall. And that's what I have now. Now I can take it, I grab it in the X and the Y axis and move. There we go. Just like that. Very nice. Same thing on the side. Copy. And let's do something different for the back, because our back is a weak point for our castles because we can guard all kinds of stuff from the front. So we'll just take this. Let's go ahead and group this. We can go up to group, right up here, group that, and it'll give us a window, and it'll prompt us to give it a name. So we can just name it tower _1. So we can just name that tower 1. And now I'm going to do a copy of this tower and grab it in the X and Y axes again and move it right to the back. Cool. So now I want to make this tower a little bit taller. I can do it one of two ways. I can go to group and ungroup it, and I can grab the top of this tower and use Z and move it up this way, grab the bottom and go to my modifiers tab use the parameters again and go to the height tool, and boom, there we go. Nice. So now it is at a height that I find attractive to the eye. I can group it again. And I always name it again, tower. And do a copy of it. Boom. Look at that. Very nice. Let's grab this and move it. Same. So let's actually reverse these. So here, and move this here. And maybe we'll put something in the middle of it to give it a little bit of definition. The cool thing when we're doing primitive shapes is that we can bash these things in together without them causing the system to crash, or they have to have some kind of functionality to work in a video game. Because when you're building for a video game, or if you're building something for a movie, it has to have a certain amount of function to the building. What we're doing now is just putting stuff together and just having some fun with it. So remember to let your imagination just go if you want to, and just have fun with what you're doing. You can build any kind of structure that you can create or that you can think of. Do you have any like favorite structures, Max, that you've ever wanted to build or 3D print in one of these programs?
Let's see. I don't know. There's some pretty cool buildings. Castles are kind of fun to make. I mean, this is a pretty fun exercise right here. But
Oh, yeah.
no.
Cool. And now we can go to radius and height with the parameters and blow it up. Remember, we can stick things inside and mash them together. We can always duplicate. There we go. Well, I can move this up too if I wanted to. I'm gonna do all that, but that looks pretty cool there. Nice. And the same can be done for the inside as well. So let's go ahead and we'll highlight all of that and we'll just move this to the front. Awesome. I can almost hear those trumpets and stuff in there. Dun, 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 dun. So if you wanted to do something, the cool thing about Max and Maya and most of the 3D building programs that we have today is that you can animate something very, very easily in there. And unlike traditional animation, you already have everything in front of you because you've already made it in 3D. So from any angle, it's already animated. For example, we just want this to move up and down, up and down. We'll get a starting point and we'll start it from right here at the bottom and move up. So down here at the bottom, guys, girls, this is our sliding key and our time bar. And these are our set keys and auto keys, and playback button down here are our points for our axes. So first of all, to animate anything, you want to use your animation key and hit your animation button. A red square comes around your screen. It lets you know that you are ready to animate and that you're in the process. If you remove anything in here, it's going to be animated. So be very careful. You start off on 0 and we hit our set key and it gives us a little indicator right here, right in the corner. Now we're going to move forward in time to about 20 seconds. And then we'll take it and we'll move it up. Awesome. Hit your set key. And then you can move forward in time again. And then we'll close it down. We hit the question mark to see it play. Oh, there we go. Opens and closes. Simple as that. Now we're ready to animate something for Pixar. Once you're finished with your animation, you always hit your set key or your auto key and get out of your animation. You can save your files by hitting Control S or by going to File and hit Save. If you're in 3ds Max, it'll give you a folder called Scenes, and that's going to be found in your 3ds Max file folder. All of your files are going to be saved to Scenes, and if you ever find yourself in trouble where you mess up your file or gets accidentally deleted, always go back to your Autodesk or your auto save files, and it'll have a copy in there, maybe 2 or 3. So that's really cool about this program. Most of the programs do that now. They have an auto save file for you guys, just in case some things happen. So we're gonna just name this test, and there we go. It has been saved for us, and this is a very good beginning of a castle, of a little block structure that we have. I hope you guys were able to follow along on this, and we'll continue to build on this too for a little bit more. How are you coming along, Max?
I'm going pretty good. I got 2 walls and kind of a little bit of a central structure going on.
Cool. And that's what we want. Remember, we can make anything that we want to with our imagination and the tools that we have available. And remember, make it easy on yourself. Make it very, very easy. You can always duplicate a structure and group something together that you've made. Cool thing about it too is that sometimes if you look around and the things that it has, like the drop down panels, there we go. So you should also put trees and stuff. Look at that, the plugins. There you go. It makes it look a lot better when you have like trees and stuff. So if you notice, it gave me a big blob instead of like my leaves and branches. And the reason why it does that is that it's trying to save on memory and power. It doesn't want to overload my system. 3D Max is a building program. If you want to render stuff, you can use things like Maya or Unreal or Unity. Even Blender, you can render things out of it. But 3D Max is primarily like a building program. It is a great building program. It is one that I prefer. So awesome. So that looks like we are about to run out of time. Max, would you like to say any parting words?
I don't know, get out there and build some stuff. Yeah, Blender's a really good software for kind of learning some of the basics of 3D. I actually started out with a program called SketchUp, which is super simple to use. And yeah, I'd say just experiment with 3D stuff because it's a huge world and there's lots of potential for work, and it's a fun field to get into.
Yeah, it sure is. I enjoy it a lot. I really enjoyed using the 3D building programs, and I tell you, it is another media for your artwork and stuff. So, guys, thank you for joining us again for another episode of DMI Live. Really appreciate it. You can find all the stuff that we did and the DMI drop page. So don't forget to pick up this stuff. And if you have any questions, please drop us some questions. We'd love to hear what you're thinking, and we love to hear what you think about what we've been doing for you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.